Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Adams Rite number 74R1 electric strike. Here it is. This is the strike shown in the 130 finish, which is an aluminum finish they call Rite coat. Available in a dark bronze finish as well. And actually a 119 finish for black. Black anodized is also available. This strike is used with rim exit devices, is the bottom line. That's where you're going to use this. A couple of jaws here, and it's currently set up in fail secure mode so that in the absence of power, the strike is locked. This will be... This is an incredibly durable strike. This is an incredibly flexible strike. Can be used in many different applications, practically all that you're going to bump into when it comes to an electric rim exit device electric strike. Now, this will work very compatibly with all exit devices that do not have an auxiliary deadlocking tab. And let's complete the visual tour, then we'll get into the cut sheet and the installation instructions for review. This is the body. So this is what you're going to see exposed. This is the portion that will be buried into the frame. This is the lead coming off for electrical connection. And the setting of fail safe or fail secure is done on the back side by reviewing that. You're going to change the position of those two screws that are there to set that from fail secure, factory standard, to fail safe, where it's unlocked in the when it's unpowered, it would be unlocked. Okay. Now the dimensional properties. Let's go over it at this moment. The factory has the height of the faceplate at 9". Let's test that. Indeed, 9". The width of the faceplate they have it at is going to be, I'm thinking 1 3/4, but I don't see that specifically. 1 3/4 it is. Thickness of the faceplate, 11/16. Right on. Okay. A couple of slotted holes here so that you can make a final adjustment when you're installing the material. This is going to include, you know what, let me give you the depth of the body, the height of the body as well, naturally. They have it at 3 3/8. Appears to be correct. The width, about 1 7/16, with a projection from the back side of the body of about 1". That's obviously the portion that's going to go into the frame, and there is included, of course, with your documentation are the installation instructions that will detail all of that. Okay. That link to the installation instructions is below this video, and it's a document that gives you all of the information for the 7400 series. And really what happens is very part and parcel with the Adams Rite line, is kind of a modular approach to items. The business end of this, the body only, this can be applied to different faceplates, not just the 74R1 or R2 variants of this item. This can be put down to different faceplates. So the link to the installation instructions is a kitchen sink sort of approach that will give you lots of different dimensional properties. The 74R1 strike is referred to in the center of page 1, and then more information at the lower left-hand area of page 1, and then lots of electrical information on page 2, how to connect the item with the included pigtail connectors to the body, and then references to how to change the state of the latch, fail secure to fail safe, and obviously back. A definition of all the wires, color coding as well, and a wiring diagram. Now, this will include 2 shims. These 2 shims are here. The only difference is the thickness. It will include the screws for installing the material. That screw pack is obviously going to allow you to install this on either the 130 finish with the chrome or aluminum silver colored screws, and then the 119 or the 121 finish with the darker screws. Okay. Now, the thickness of the 2 shims is not listed here, but I'm going to give that to you. And those shims are either the 91-0096 or the 91-0097 are the part numbers for those shims. And they are included, so you won't need to worry about having to buy those separately. They're very thin, which will allow for a small amount of adjustment. You can obviously stack these if you needed to. The thickness of the thinner one, 0.061, so a 1/16 of an inch thickness on the thinner one. So that's 60 thousandths. The thicker one, probably, forgive me, these are the same thickness. I guess the bottom line is, let's take a look and see why that's the case. Okay, I did assume that they were different thicknesses. They're simply not. They're just giving you two. It's not in my experience, it's common to have two different thicknesses that you could stack. Not the case. They do obviously now feel the same thickness. There's a reference on page 1 of the installation instructions. Spacers are provided to assure flush final assembly of the faceplate and the jamb and style. Add one or more spacers between the jamb style and mounting clip of the jamb style. When the faceplate sets inside the jamb style, spacers must be added between the mounting clip and the electric strike plate. See detail A, where they are showing that. Which actually talks about spacing the lock body off itself. These shims would sit, of course, underneath this to build that off, should you need to. So you'd be able to move it a total of 1/8 of an inch, is the bottom line. Okay. The rest of the installation instructions give dimensional properties for the frame prep for every different type of frame that this can be used with. And the field reversible fail secure to fail safe appears to be very straightforward and clear cut. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to us. The link below this video to the catalog page is going to let you know that the 74R1 is used with rim exit devices with a 3/4 inch Pullman style latch. That's typical and standard. You might want to make sure that your exit device features a 3/4 inch projection Pullman type latch, just to be sure that you've got the right one. But those are the magic words: Pullman latch, 3/4 inch, for use on hollow metal, wood, and aluminum jams. And what actually is interesting, this will operate under the conditions where you have up to 35 pounds of preload. So if you have a door that is exhibiting some sort of improper installation, where you've got a hinge plate that is bent, and you actually, when you get to the door to the closed position, it actually doesn't close all the way without you having to push it slightly, the strike will still operate under that sort of condition up to 35 pounds, where it wants to spring back open. A condition also you'll find that is when the hinge jamb of the frame is towed out like this, putting that preload condition onto the door frame. So this strike helps accommodate for that. A semi-mortise strike allows remote electrical control over a door. This is non-handed, can be used, of course, in either left-hand reverse or right-hand reverse applications. Ultra-compact design, as we determined earlier, it's a very 11/16 low profile. Stainless steel split jaw construction, over 1,500 pounds of holding force in a fail secure mode. I've actually seen two different values for that. There's another value that states it at 2,400 pounds of preload. Regardless, no one's going to pull that open. This will operate on 12, 16, or 24 volt power. Out of the box, it will work on 24 or 12 volt power in a 12 volt AC and DC out of the box. 16 volt AC out of the box, 24 volt DC out of the box it will work with. If you need to do 16 volt DC, you have to buy an adapter. If you want to do 24 volt AC, you have to buy a rectifier. Oh, forgive me. Yes, you have to buy a rectifier. That will allow you to connect AC voltage to a DC strike, is how that would work. The rectifier is available from Adams Rite naturally. I believe that part number is a 4603. Let's take a look. That's correct. 4603 is the proper rectifier for that. You can also add a horn to a DC operation so that you can hear it. So people like AC, or people know AC because they hear the buzzing. Well, that's not the case with DC. DC is a silent sort of operation. You can add a horn to it. A piezo horn can be added. That is a part number 29-0218. You can also then purchase the 4605 transformer to bring line voltage down to 12 or 24 volt AC, or the 4606 transformer, which is a plug-in style that will allow you to bring 24V AC out of the transformer. You would then need to rectify that to use this DC solenoid that it will work with. Power supplies are available from Adams Rite as well. Standard package is going to include the 2 shim plates. It's going to include the mounting screws, installation instructions it will include. This is compatible with the ELX Electrolinks adapter, which is a standardized set of connectors from Adams Rite for connecting various electrified pieces of hardware. Very handy in that case. The bottom of page 2 of the catalog section or link gives you the matrix by which this item can be ordered. And really the only deviation from what is obvious is just that it talks about the ability of the strike to become a monitored strike, where you'll have 2 internally mounted switches to indicate when the latch bolt is engaged in the strike jaws and is presenting a locked, unlocked solenoid status. Okay, so what that means, you will have the ability to know if the latch bolt is actually, and this model is not a monitored model, you'll have the ability to actually know if the strike is engaged in the keeper and what the state is of the solenoid, whether the solenoid is in a locked or unlocked status. Important. So that reports back to a central monitoring station, very commonly needed in a nursing home, where they have to know if the exit door has been perhaps tampered with or what the condition of it is. You know, you could easily present a piece of cardboard in the strike assembly when you pull the door closed to prevent the latch from going in. Well, the purpose of the monitor portion of that is to tell someone the latch is engaged or it's not engaged. So that's very important as well. The balance of the published data that we have, there's nothing beyond that we've not already covered. Then moving to conclusion about this strike, it's a great strike, especially for the price. You can certainly spend a whole lot more money on a grade 1 strike than Adams Rite, whose name is synonymous with electric strikes, but not only electric strikes. Exit devices, obviously. Aluminum storefront hardware. The name Adams Rite is quite synonymous with. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all the Adams Rite products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, along with a link to the full product catalog. But the document that I use the most is called Adams Rite Parts, Adams Rite Parts Manual Price List. The fact that it's a price list is irrelevant. The bottom line is those are exploded parts drawings for everything, at least at this time, that's published from them. So here's the bottom line. If you were to pull that up and load the document and do a search for, you know, whatever item that you might be working on, you'll be able to get to all of the constituent parts that are available for the specific strike that you might be working on. Very handy, because what it does is it allows you to continue to get useful service out of the significant investment in hardware. It was just quite quite frankly, the bottom line. It's the ability to rebuild something is part and parcel with the Adams Rite line, and the fact that they make all of the data published, available, part numbers available, so that you can just purchase only the piece that you need, is a reason, I think, to consider Adams Rite as a potential manufacturer for a new project when you're dealing with electrified strikes, exit devices, aluminum storefront hardware. If you have any questions on the Adams Rite 74R1 electric strike or any other Adams Rite product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.